At this point, we're getting ready to hook up our hydraulic hose to our fitting that's coming out of the track itself. So the first thing we need is we need to get a little bit of thread sealant that we're going to put on this pipe thread at the bottom. And we're going to just run it around this outside. We're going to put on our fitting here, pipe thread on pipe thread. Now we're getting ready to assemble the power unit onto the Backyard Buddy power unit bracket. What you're going to need is a 4 5/16 bolts with their nuts. There's 8 flat washers and 4 lock washers that will assemble this to hold this onto this bracket. And this is kind of neat that this bracket's off to the side, not sitting on the outside making the unit wider. It's inside, so you'll be able to not take up more space in your shop. This is a 110 volt, 110 volt power unit, 20 amp breaker, and it's ETL approved. So I'm going to hold this up and Jay's going to run the bolts through there so that we can get this mounted. You'll notice we're putting it into the slots, the top slots of the power unit. He'll get one started, then I won't have to hold it much, just for alignment.
Up a little bit.
Okay, and we'll need a 1/2 inch wrench. You'll notice this is a nice heavy 110 cord. You know, you can plug this straight into an outlet if you have one there close. It's 6 foot in length, so it makes it easy if you've got a receptacle on the ceiling that you can reach to to the ceiling or to a side wall. If you need to run an extension cord with this, make sure you're using a 12 gauge or heavier cord. You don't want to use a 14 or 16 gauge cord because you'll lose too much amperage going to the motor.
Okay, now that we have our power unit mounted, all our nuts and bolts tighted, we're going to add our oil. We use premium 32 weight straight hydraulic oil. We use that weight so it doesn't slow the lift down in a cold climate. Here in Ohio, if this was in a cold garage, if we used a heavier oil, the customer would notice how much slower the lift would go down than with the 32. Now, if you live in a southern climate, Texas, any place where you have usually hotter summers and warmer winters, then you can go to a 46 weight oil and it would work very well for you. Probably gonna take about 3.5 gallons of oil to fill up our reservoir. I always put the spout on the top of the 5-gallon bucket. That way you don't get air bubbles coming out, splashing and making a mess. You get a nice steady flow. Okay, now I'm going to take a look. It's hard to see, but right here where my finger at, there's a mark, and that's your minimum. Then if I move my finger up, again, it's a mark that's hard to see, but that's the full maximum level. So if you notice, we're right between them two. So this is a good place to stop. We'll have plenty of oil to run this lift.
All right, now we're going to install the hoses that are needed, or hydraulic hoses, to our power unit so we can get this lift up and running. Now you're going to notice when you undid your package that there was a box that looked like this here, that it has all of these pieces in. This is your breather tube installation. So everything we're going to be working with was packed inside of this box inside there, so you don't have any missing parts. So the first thing we want to do is, you'll find on the side of this aluminum housing pump, there is a red cap. You're going to pull this cap out. That is the port for the hydraulic hose to hook to. Then we've got a 90-degree fitting. This is what's called an O-ring fitting. You're going to see there's an O-ring right here, and it has a jam nut. So we're going to screw this into the housing and then just tighten this up, and it's going to seat that O-ring to the aluminum housing. So we'll show you how that's done here. So a little bit of oil on that O-ring. We're going to turn this in there. And what I'm doing, I'm getting several threads all the way till I'm up to that O-ring. You'll feel it when it touches it. Now I don't want to keep turning it because it'll tear that O-ring. And then you're going to take your wrench and you're going to tighten this up. I'm tightening up an aluminum housing here. So I don't want to overdo it. just like that, to where now it's tight. This is sitting here, and now we're going to hook up our hose to it. Now we've got this all installed on our 90 degree, and we've snugged up that fitting O-ring. Now what we're going to do is attach the hose. Again, we have two different ends of this hose. I have one that has an O-ring on it as well. That's the one that's going to go to this 90 degree fitting here. The other one is a flare fitting, and that's going to go to the runway over here that we've already put our fitting on. So this one you have to do first. And so what we're going to do is we're going to thread this in, and you're actually just going to turn the hose to get it started. And you'll turn this in. Again, you're just seating that O-ring, getting it up to there, and then you're going to take this and snug this tight, just like that. Now we have to our power unit, we're all set, solid, and now we can come up here and connect the other end to our swivel that we just installed just a few minutes ago. And this is a flare fitting. So we're going to take this, this is going to connect us to our cylinder underneath the runway. So now we get this in. And you might need to, every once in a while, kind of loosen this up, twist your hose, get it set the way you want it so you can get the turns out of it, and then tighten it up. Now we're getting ready to install the breather tube. So what we have is a return line on our power unit, on this housing on the pump. So what we want to do is take a number 8 Allen wrench, put that in, and you're going to take this out. So we're not going to use this anymore. So that's just a plug. And what we're going to put inside of it is we have a 1/4 inch push tube lock, and we've got threads that's going to match the threads here, and we've already put some thread tape on there as well, so it seals up nicely. So we're going to put this on. Just like so. And then when this is done, this will still rotate, because we're going to put, now we're going to insert our 1/4 inch vent line, and then we're going to connect this to the cylinder, the vent side. So all I did is push that in, and then that locks inside. It's going to follow the hydraulic hose. You see this hole that's drilled into the runway. We're going to insert this tube into that hole, and then my helper Jay on the other side is going to feed that through, and then he's going to connect it to underneath on the vent side of the cylinder.
Okay, now that we've connected our vent line to the power unit, we need to connect it to the rear of our cylinder, where the air would vent in and out of the cylinder. We remove the red plug from the back of the cylinder, and now we have another fitting, just like the one that was connected to the power unit. It's just a smaller thread. It's 1/4 inch national pipe thread instead of 3/8. And it's pre-taped, so you don't need to worry about, because there's no pressure in this line. This is just air traveling in and out of the back of the cylinder as the lift's being operated. So I'm going to tighten that with a 9/16 wrench, snug. Again, I don't have to go over tight on this. Okay, now we finished tightness. Now we're going to connect the line that we brought from our power unit, our push to lock 1/4 inch line, and just push it straight in. Slight effort, it pushes in, and it locks automatically, and it'll stay there. Now we're going to route our hose neatly. Their zip ties will come with the unit. So we're going to tuck it up underneath here. We're going to follow our hydraulic line out. And once we get it zip tied, then there's a covering that'll cover the whole assembly and make a nice clean look. Okay, now we're going to go outside the runway and finish